Hi, I'm John Griffin at the Fitzroy Inn, and this is history video number 5. Today we're going to visit a very significant town in the area, the Joadja town. Here we are at Joadja. This is an amazing place and really worth the trip to come and have a look at, but let me take you back in time. At about 1850, the Carter family were using this valley for their stock. They were roaming through here. It was a time when bushrangers were still around and about a little bit. And Edward Carter, he discovered up in here that there was black oil, kerosene, coming out of the rocks. He didn't take too much notice of it. And then about 20 years later, there was a great demand for kerosene, particularly in America actually. So he got organised and put some claims in, and from that came the Australian Kerosene and Mineral Company. In about 1876, which is about the time Davis and Levi put together jeans with rivets in them, shotguns became hammerless, side lock. They got a Scottish guy to come here, an engineer, and he put together the production so it became a very, very, very efficient production. They put a railway in. The Scottish guy had an influence to bring Scottish people here, so this place was populated by a lot of Scots. There were 1,200 people came here to this place to work these mines and create what is a Joadja city. Funnily enough, my grandmother was a Mackenzie. I wonder whether or not she came from that same stock of original Scots that came here. It lasted till about early 1900s. The post office burnt down. The Americans discovered how they could do their own shale oil, and it sort of fell away. In that time, for about 20 years, they grew fruit here, beautiful fruit. And then of course, the prohibitiveness of moving the fruit to the factories really slowed that operation down as well. But today, it's been preserved by a couple of people that have put their hearts into restoring this and keeping this place open for you and I to come here and experience this amazing, amazing piece of Australian history. And of course, fantastic Australian whiskey. Because the Scots, they bought themselves, and they also bought that art of making really good whiskey. We're going to move along and have a look at all of that now. Enjoy. Well, we've been in the field, now we're in the distillery. Val, thank you for this wonderful, wonderful drop that you make here. This is Scottish origin, Scottish, but it's an Australian whiskey. Tell us all about this. This is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, well, we're pretty proud of this. This is actually this is now our second release. We've been putting together this distillery for about 6 or 7 years now. When we took over about 7 years ago, it was an empty shell, and very slowly putting it all back together. Of course, it takes many years to mature whiskey, and this particular one we're drinking now, it was put down about 3 years ago. In this country, we have to have the whiskey under barrel for at least 2 years before we're allowed to call it whiskey. But anyway, we're following the Scottish tradition here, but it's still an Australian whiskey. When we talk about a Scottish tradition, we're using a single malt process. So this is 1 grain, 1 distiller. We grow our barley here, as you know, and we do all the milling, all the mashing, everything is done here. But also we have our own spring, our own water source is here in Joadja. We put all of this together to make a single malt whiskey. The process itself is relatively simple mechanically, because there are only 3 ingredients. You've got your barley, your water, your yeast, and that's it.
This sounds like a passion.
Very much so. Yeah, very, very happy to be here and following that Scottish tradition. We are putting a little bit of our heritage in there with the Spanish barrel. So we're Spanish, and we bring these Spanish barrels in, and the Scots have been using Spanish barrels for about 170, 180 years. So together we're bringing Joadja back to life.
Okay, how was that? What an amazing place. I can sit back now and enjoy a lovely, genuine Australian whiskey. One finger, that's enough, that's all I need. Oh, cheers. So that's a wrap for this video. Hope you enjoy it. Come enjoy the inn, come enjoy Joadja. See you next time.